I'm Andrew. This is Morgan. She's performing the Astrand cycling test to estimate her VO2 max from her heart rate. She just finished her warm-up at 25 watts for 3 minutes. And so I now bumped her up to 100 watts according to the Astrand protocol for a healthy individual that is active. She had an RPE, or a rating of perceived exertion, of 7 before this test started, and her vital signs, her blood pressure was 108/78, her heart rate was 62 beats per minute, which we calculated her submaximal heart rate range to be 116 to 164 beats per minute, which is 60 to 85% of her heart rate max. And that is the range that we're looking for her heart rate to fall into to end the test and get her in her steady state. So because those values all fall within normal range, we're proceeding with the test, and she's safe to do that. Before we started this test, we adjusted the seat of the bike to her greater trochanter, which, according to protocol, is the right height to be at. So we'll take measurements of blood pressure, heart rate, and her RPE at 2, 5, and 6 minutes. At 2 minutes, we're making sure that the measurement, her heart rate, is within that submax range. And then at 5 and 6 minutes, we're making sure that her heart rate stays within 5 beats per minute of itself. And after that, we'll know she's at a steady state and we can finish the test. So we're at about 2 minutes, so I'm going to take the measurements. So Morgan, what is your perceived exertion on this chart?
It's pretty light.
Okay, so that corresponds to an 11 on the RPE scale. Now I'm going to take her blood pressure. So her blood pressure was 136/78, and now I'm going to take her heart rate to see if it falls within that submax range. So I'm taking her heart rate by feeling on her radial pulse for 15 seconds. Great, good job.
Thanks.
So I measured her heart rate. It was 32 beats in 15 seconds, which, if we multiply that by 4, it comes out to 128 beats per minute, which falls within that heart rate range, her submax heart rate range, of 116 to 164 beats per minute. So we'll proceed with this workload of 100 watts, and we'll take those measurements again of blood pressure, heart rate, and RPE at 5 minutes. And then at 6 minutes, we'll take her blood pressure, her RPE, and her heart rate. And if those heart rates are within 5 beats per minute, she'll be at a steady state and we can cool down and end the test. So how are you feeling, Morgan?
Good.
Doing good?
Yeah.
Not too hard, not too easy? Feeling
It's a good
good?
workout.
Okay, how would you rate yourself on this scale right now?
Somewhat hard.
Okay, so that corresponds to a 13. So this RPE scale is just the subjects, how they feel they're exerting themselves, how hard they feel that the test is going. Still feeling good, pedaling
Good.
well,
Yes.
good form.
Thanks.
So you're almost to 5 minutes, and we'll take those 3 measurements again, and then we'll wait 1 more minute and do it all over and see if you're in your steady state. So first off, at the 5-minute mark, how are you on the scale again?
It's probably between, just somewhat hard and hard, I think.
Good, so that corresponds to a 14 on this scale. So we'll take your blood pressure one more time. Good. Your blood pressure there was 142/78, and now we'll take your heart rate again for 15 seconds. Good. Your heart rate there is 140. So now we're almost to 6 minutes, so we'll take that again, and if the heart rate falls within 5 beats per minute, we'll know that we can end the test. So what is your rating of perceived exertion on this scale?
Probably same thing.
Okay, so
Between somewhat hard and hard.
instead of 14 again. We'll take her heart rate one more time for 15 seconds. Doing great. Good. So her heart rate was 144. So her minute 5 heart rate was 140 and her minute 6 was 144. So she's reached steady state. We can bump her back down to 25 watts and have her cool down for 2 to 3 minutes. So since that heart rate was within 5 beats per minute, she reached the requirement of being at that steady state. So we lowered the watts back down to 25 for 2 to 5 minutes, and we'll observe her and watch for any abnormal signs, and at the end of her cool down, her values should be within 10% of those resting values.